Good morning and welcome. I wanted to hop on here today and talk to you about intuitive matchmaking because here we go. It's launching tomorrow and we have our pieces in place. There was some infrastructure that needed to occur and we have it now. And when I say me, my counterpart, Jennifer, she and I are going to be doing a lot of this together. And I think it's always two hands and two heads are better than one when it comes to these situations. And part of it is that Jennifer and I both have really large networks. We know a lot of people, and that's the benefit to you guys. Now, for those of you who are going to sign up for the matchmaking service itself, doesn't mean we're not going to go find people for you if we don't already have them in our network. We will. And both of us are really good at that. And we both have great intuitive sensibilities. And that's a big part of my matchmaking service, not just the intuitive piece, which Jen and I both have, but I always look at things through a spiritual lens and an emotional lens as well. It's not just the analytics of putting your questionnaires up next to each other and seeing, do you both like, hikes? It's not just about that. I would say, in addition to lifestyle, spiritual depth, into emotional wounded versus healing and how you cope with those things. It's really more about, do I get a gut level that this is a match? And can I really see and feel that you two are on the same vibrational track? And I think, of course, everyone that I invite into the experience, because I won't match for everyone, but everyone I do invite into the experience, I am going to look at your blueprint. I am going to look at your energy so I can really get a sense what your path is and what you're really working on in your life. So that's going to be a piece of it. But I think the other piece that's really more 3D, real world, day to day, I think people who are struggling to find a relationship, one that lasts, there's usually a couple of factors playing out that are related to midlife dating. And that is, we forget that we're in a different time of life. Not that we don't know our age, but rather we're playing by old rules. The rules that were around when we were in our 20s, perhaps, those rules no longer apply for the very reason that many people 40 and above have been married, they've had children, they've had careers. The goals, the points of view are different. The good news and the bad news about that is that we tend to know ourselves a little bit better. So when we do connect, we can connect faster and better sometimes. The bad news about it, which I see very often, is that people get a lot of judgments. They think they know, oh, I can sum somebody up in 30 seconds and know if they're a match or not. That's a detriment. When we think we know it all and we think we can assess right away, that's a problem. So much of our assessment is nonverbal and it's unconscious. And so we have to be patient with ourselves and the process. And there's a lot of different pieces we're going to go through. So for people who come into my service who haven't been able to make it happen or kind of lost or just scared or whatever the situation is, there's going to be some hand-holding going on here. Now, the first step for anyone, no matter what level you choose as you come into the experience, we're going to meet. And how much we meet will be based upon how well I know you or don't know you. Now, if there's someone in my database already who is a match for you, I'll just match you up. If I have to go find someone for you, then that's a different situation, and that takes a different amount of time and energy. Fortunately, Jen and Jen is a lifelong friend and sister to me. We both have great wide networks, and she is spot on, razor sharp with her intuitive insights. So we will work very well together in this regard. Everyone who comes into the matchmaking program, no matter what level you come in at, you're going to complete the questionnaire. You're going to have a professional dating profile. And what is so important, if you go into my database, to just be in the database, you're going to need 3 photos. One is a kind of a headshot, kind of like what you see with me right now in this, where it's just like from the shoulders up and smiling. The second, you're going to need a full body shot. You got to have a full body. People need to know what you look like. And it'd be nice if you have an activity shot, like you're at the beach or you're riding bikes or you're playing some sport that you like to play. So those are going to be the requirements if you want to be in the database. Plus, you're going to complete the questionnaire, which is about 35 questions. And it's online. It won't take you that long, but we want to have that in place. So you'll have your profile, your questionnaire, your photos, and then you can be in the database for a year. The second thing is those of you who are actively dating and want some help on the dating apps or texting strategies or things like that, then you'll get a coaching session or two, depending on what you need, to help navigate those dating apps, prepare your information, and do some preliminary interactions. Because sometimes I notice when I'm working with people who are on the dating apps, their fears or their judgments, or they don't really understand how to communicate, or they don't to get a sequence of events happening that they want. So I kind of walk you through that first couple of steps to make sure you have that dialed in such a way so that you're not signing up for what you don't want to sign up for, and you're knowing how to cultivate those people who are really going to be interested in you. Okay. And then, of course, the third level is going to be the matchmaking itself, where you're going to get plenty of coaching, or you're going to get a reading with me. I'm going to want to assess you psychically if I never have. And we're going to do the questionnaire and the profile, the photos, everything. But then we're going to go out and actually match you with folks. And so and that coaching will go up all the way through the dating process, right? And most people who come into my matchmaking service, I'm probably going to know. There may be some people I don't, but we'll deal with that as it comes about. But I need to get to know you if I don't know you. I have to. I really have to understand what makes you tick, and that includes me looking at you intuitively, because nothing beats that for me, really understanding how your system works. There are a few legal documents you'll need to sign up, and disclaimers and things of that sort, because there's only so much I have control over. So we need to have a great meeting of the minds at the beginning to understand what it is and what it isn't when you sign up for this service. I've kept the rates as low as I possibly can, so whoever needs it can have it. And then just know that you'll love Jennifer if you start working with her. You'll always start with me. Jennifer might jump in at some point just because I have other things to do as well that are important to me. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to always stay plugged into what your process is. So you're seeing different graphics on the screen, which kind of explain the different levels and how it's going to work. But again, the best way to determine what's right for you is to sign up for an exploratory session, and we'll talk about it and then find out what's right. All right. Super excited. Looking forward to next steps. All right, my friends, have a wonderful day.